Hopefully we get a crazy matchup.
Hey, well, we got the match. Take it away, boys.
I can't wait to get into this one, Turtle. This is one of the premier matchups to start off the winter split. A best of 5 still on your screens, but BDS, reigning world champions, Oxygen, trying to get themselves in that category as well. Rise, the biggest pickup in the offseason, and a punch downfield that hits off the top bar, and it's followed up by Monkey Moon. Who else to start things off for BDS?
Yep, and it's the former world champs who are going to strike first off the crossbar. I thought this was going to be a missed opportunity, but they got a bit fortunate because it bounced off the crossbar 2 times in a row, and that made the setup that much easier. Normally, Spaceman, if it hits the ground and goes above the crossbar, there's no angle with the shot, and you kind of waste an opportunity. So very fortunate bounce for BDS and a good start.
If you like those team goal explosions, check them out in the Esports store in the shop. They got all kinds of things to rep your favorite squad. And now let's get into it. Off the opening goal, BDS applying the pressure early. And for both the teams, we expect this matchup to continue as the season wanes. A great extension from Jorius will leave Archie on the opposite wing, and Rise plays back up midfield.
Oh my,
okay. Beautiful connection. Better save from Archie, and Extra punches it towards the backboard.
That was a pre-jump from Seiko, and this is a team that just lost in their previous matchup. BDS, I thought they were going to be a little bit defeated, but they are coming out here guns ablaze and prepared to take on Oxygen.
Well, now they're warmed up, and we've had a bit of time off for a lot of squads. Granted, scrims, practice, offline tournaments, it all exists, but RLCS is a different beast, Turtle. These players come prepared, and they know what's on the line.
And there's been pre-jumps across the board for Seiko, who's reading his teammates flawlessly. Monkey Moon flowing into these corners. Very nice. Look at these 50-50 wins, getting that ball across to the other side, able to maintain possession. This team BDS, they are coming into this game confident, and they know they have what it takes to take down Oxygen Esports. At this moment, it's really just a mental game, and they've certainly got that win.
Extra 50s make it 4 in a row, punched up towards the corner, and Extra will peel off the play, now circling back towards the midfield. Boost should be there for BDS. You're leaving Monkey Moon and Seiko as the only ones playing point, but Extra will cover nicely and gets it laterally to Monkey Moon downfield, ready and waiting for the pass. Rise leaves off. Extra following up. And Extra is another player who started to get more love on this BDS squad, especially after that World Championship win. So undervalued on this team, oftentimes doesn't get those top 5 player recognitions that really he does deserve.
I mean, there's always going to be that one player on a roster full of stars that might not be talked about as much. And for me, I do also agree that it is going to be Extra. And he is the pillar of consistency for this offense. Seiko, we know what he's capable of, the crazy mechanics. Monkey Moon, of course, can come through, but how about Extra? This man, when you need him to pick up the phone, to answer the call, he's always there.
The best teams are the ones whose fundamentals are the cleanest. Was looking for the crossing pattern, but front box, Extra slots it 2-0. Still about 3 minutes to play here in game 1. It's been all of BDS. We're waiting for, of course, the Oxygen offense to kick into high gear, but so far defensively, we've seen this before where BDS just break down a squad. Shot after shot, look after look. It doesn't matter what they throw at you. They're going to be consistent with it, and off the kickoff, they find another.
This is classic BDS that we all know and love. Blowing this ball into the corner, you get a good 50-50 win from Extra, and Monkey Moon reads that play perfectly. That positioning for Monkey Moon, he wasn't too far across. He wasn't trying to anticipate a more optimistic 50-50 win from his teammate. He knew it would go back to him. He's in the exact spot he needs to be, and they go up 3-0 in game 1.
I mean, even if you miss that shot, it gets saved. You had Extra falling on the backboard, Seiko grabbing corner boost. Everyone upfield, BDS feeling very comfortable, and it's been dangerous so far. Granted, again, like we've talked about before, game 1's either mean a lot or a little. So far, it looks like BDS are warmed up after their opening series, and Rise will try to stall out and continue to play. Make things different for Oxygen going into this one, but with only about 2 minutes to play here, Turtle, it very much feels like BDS have everything they need in the toolkit to get this one done.
And it's a little bit refreshing. I mean, in the previous series, Spaceman, I remember we were talking a lot about efficiency and being able to put away a lot of these tight shots and tight angles whenever you're given the opportunities. And that was a big piece of constructive criticism that I had for Tundra. They were missing open nets, missing opportunities, but that is not the case for BDS. I mean, these players, they've got 8 shots and they're sitting at 3 goals. Efficiency is certainly there, and they're able to punish when they need to. Not the same story for Oxygen, but they've only got 1 shot. They can't even get on offense to get those opportunities because there's just too much from BDS.
Yeah, they don't really have time to breathe, let alone if you want to extend this game out towards the corners, play off the sidewall. I mean, they got to worry about Seiko on the backboard. Rise just trying to clear it, has to get Archie for the pre-jump. Jorius was waiting, but Archie going to follow in on the ball, and Seiko will get back to net. This one's dangerous. What a double tap from Archie to open it up for Oxygen.
Bro.
Finally, some life breathed in.
There's no way you read this. There is no way this man read it. I want to see. He didn't even have any boost. This man was just perfectly flying across the net. I'm not sure if he set it up that way with the last ounce of boost, but he got that dunk without using any of it. He was rotating his car, and somehow, some way, that worked out. Archie, what a play to start things off for his team.
Respectfully, let him cook, but you're going to have to worry about that. Off the kickoff, that's 2 times now in this game. Monkey Moon has punished you. It's a win by extra. He doesn't get the boost, but Seiko, the extension, backboard, touch, Monkey Moon, finish it.
Wow.
My goodness.
I mean, they're letting Monkey Moon cook right now. A hat trick to this man's name, and what a way to get into game number 1, BDS. I'm sure a lot of people, including myself, I mean, we all predicted against BDS. I wasn't necessarily doubting them, but I truly respected the round 1 win from Oxygen, and the unfortunate loss out of BDS. I thought they'd be a little bit more sluggish, a bit down on themselves after that first loss, but that has not been the story.
This is just the game plan. This is the model for BDS, right? They're maybe not the flashiest team, but they do everything so well. Their fundamentals are better than almost anybody's in the world. They capitalize on big opportunities downfield. They capitalize on their long possessions like here, extra, winning another one, and Monkey Moon set up in the front of the box, quickly denied, shot back out. Jorius with the clear. Midfield boost there. Seiko, Rise trying to meet this one. He's going to have to fight off 2 defenders at a time, but easily taken aback. And that's 30 seconds off the board that has nothing to say, as Oxygen couldn't find a single touchdown field, and they get counterattacked off it. It's 5-1.
And for this, you understand why Oxygen are trying to push forward so much. I mean, they were down, 3 goals already, 4-1. They needed to put one in with 20 seconds remaining. They're extending their offense. So this is understandable, and this game is just simply out of their hands at this point. BDS, a comfortable and very dominant game 1 win. 15 seconds remaining. Maybe Oxygen, if you can just start the momentum early on, that would be a good sign moving into game number 2. But regardless, you don't have enough time to get back into it. And off the hard work of, I'd say, all 3 players, this wasn't one in particular showing up. It was BDS as a whole, Space.
Yeah. No, this was not Oxygen struggling on one side. It was basically BDS playing free play for the entire 5 minutes. It was unfathomably clinical. BDS looked so good in game 1. A dominant win, 5-1. To start the series off, you got 3 goals from Monkey Moon. Here are your stats across the board. I mean, it was just one after another, every single player having an impact, and you can see the result.
Yeah, and I was really excited to see BDS in those, like you said, the word clinical spots. The positioning was always there, and it started with extra with that shot to the far right post. The only goal that we got out of Oxygen was that ridiculous dunk. And Leaf, are you as impressed as I am about that dunk? Because that was
And watch Team Quadrant stream and watch that Vertigo match and see how they're doing.
Yeah, if you get a chance, check out all the team streams. We highlight who we have here on main, but that means there's more matches and action happening elsewhere. So go find those casters, go find those streams, and give them some love, because they are the lifeblood of the Rocket League Esports.
Yeah.
Now let's get into game 2, Turtle.
We're back in it.
I'm excited, man. This one has been a bloodbath so far from BDS, but I think game 2 will have something different in store.
Yeah, we had to take a short little pause to try and make sure everybody was in the server and the connection was all set, but we are back in it. The action can unfold in front of us yet again, and maybe we'll see BDS continue their rampage against Oxygen. I mean, Oxygen had no oxygen. Quite literally, they had no room to breathe. They were getting outpaced everywhere on the field, and now they're having to deal with some incredible shots into the bottom corner that was saved from an orange member, thankfully, if you're a fan of Oxygen. And BDS don't strike first, but they do start the game hot.
Yeah, it's been the rebound game for me from BDS. It's been so dangerous. Jorius places it nicely and gets in front, up on top of the ball. BDS couldn't get up in time, and Archie sets this one up.
All right, here comes the momentum. All the mechanics coming out. Jorius, he has one spot to hit this shot. He goes to the right side of the ball, knows he needs to get it around the defender, and does exactly that. 1-0 to Oxygen. Orange team starting off strong.
I mean, that's going to have to be the recipe for success if you're Oxygen in this series, is pressure BDS on their own goal line, take boost away, follow-up chance after follow-up. Jorius from the side wall, we've seen this thousands of times, but a nice punch out towards the top. Monkey Moon ready and waiting for the extra touch, and extra on his namesake will carry it out. Gets it right over Rise, but there is Jorius ready and waiting. Monkey Moon for the 50. Possession here for BDS. Extra keeping it alive. Anybody else around? No. Wow. Extra still playing.
What is going on? The defense of Oxygen, a bit disorganized, not sure who to go up for that ball and win a challenge. And Jorius is also late on this, and Seiko can't get the shot. That was into the top left corner off the post. Again, that was a very slow defensive rotation from Oxygen, and they're still trying to recover from these mistakes. They can't get in front of the ball again, all tied up.
I mean, if you can't clear this one out, there's only so much you can really do before BDS find the opening. Archie falls back. Rise gets bumped. Open net. A good recovery from Archie inside the goal line, but it's just a little bit too late. That was inevitable. BDS were going to score. It just took them a matter of time. But we already have ourselves a tie game. A better showing from Oxygen starting off in the opening kickoff, but so far BDS respond to the pressure, and they maintained it on those rebounds downfield.
Plenty of confusion among all three players of Oxygen, not sure where to go for the ball or when to. I think the positioning needs to be tightened up a bit, but certainly they can do that as we get more into this game and as they get used to how BDS want to rotate out. That's definitely a challenge in and of itself, but a good pass out to Rise in the corner. Jorius takes the shot, doesn't find the back of the net. Instead, he gets extra with a pre-jump save, and BDS are forced to play a bit of defense, but some good speed from extra should open up a nice solid clear, immediately denied by Jorius.
I mean, Turtle, in these situations, if you are Oxygen, how do you break up the monotony that so far has been the offensive side of the ball, where they've struggled to go for those open looks, to clear out defenders from BDS? What do you do to change things?
I personally think it's the communication. I'm not sure exactly what's happening with Oxygen and how they're breaking down on defense. I mean, there's a big whiff from Rise, and then obviously the bumps paying dividends here for BDS as you take out the main defender who is going to get the clear. I just want to see better organization, better structure, and this is a normal thing that you get out of a team that just picks up a new player. Sometimes you're a bit confused as to who or when somebody is going to go for the ball. Archie, not a good clear, and a follow-up from Extra into the same right spot that we saw him nail in the previous game. This time it's saved.
I mean, that dangerous spot, it's like 10% window of opportunity, but he still slots it, and it forces two defenders on the save to commit. Diving at that. Quickly back to the neutral zone. Rise trying to go for the challenge, will do so. Extra just pops it right over, and perfect place, perfect opportunity. BDS more than happy to play the midfield as Archie gave away possession, and Monkey Moon took it right back.
I mean, just look at the positioning. You've got one player from BDS who's prepared to challenge after the 50-50 up high. This is Extra. He's waiting downfield. We don't have the same approach from Oxygen. Two players in similar spots, nobody ready to challenge immediately after the 50-50, and because of it, you're going to get punished.
If you're losing those pop fields at midfield, or I should say the pop game at midfield, because English is hard, it's going to be more difficult to maintain possession, but also just burning a lot of boost to continue the play. We've seen Oxygen do it before, and now from the corner grab, Extra didn't time it right, but it doesn't matter. He escapes with his life, and Jorius plays it off the back wall. You get Rise as well, working in tandem, the cutoff, and Monkey Moon again off the infield pass. BDS look good, and they are clinical right now.
I mean, this is ridiculous. What is my boy doing over there? Why is Monkey Moon prepared for this? It's insane. This is the type of awareness that I always talk about with BDS, knowing how to read the field. Monkey Moon, that was a 50-50, or rather a dunk from his own teammate that was positioned perfectly across the field, and Monkey Moon had the read. We aren't seeing that same level of awareness from Oxygen.
There's only so much you can do on the slow clear down to the ground, but you're just hoping Seiko isn't there to challenge, and he is. The double carry still works out. Front of the box cleared away. Extra back in front. Jorius now fighting for his life for possession. Seiko was nowhere to be found. We'll have to fly back. Monkey Moon easily there off the top bar. Follow up Rise, but Extra diving save. No boost. Rise to the corner. Archie with him. Monkey Moon comes in, takes it away with no boost. I mean, constant opportunities here for BDS with very little resources in the tank. It's a dangerous spot to be in. Still 3-1. Opportunities. Jorius can't sneak it underneath.
Double commit on the side of BDS. Could open up a shot for Rise. He did take it. Saved quickly out of Extra, but there's still an onslaught of shots going at their own net. And this is a 50-50. It's not even a shot. It had a blue trail, and it is unfortunately for BDS going to fall in. Oxygen, I don't want to say it's a lucky one. It's just a very solid 50-50 from Archie.
I mean, Seiko did all he could on the pinch, but a great 50-50, and you had to keep that pressure moving if you're Oxygen. That breathed life back into the squad. No pun intended. 28 seconds to go. 3-2. BDS trying to hold on to the lead, and Seiko off the kickoff just misses wide. I don't know if he's because he had no boost, or let alone the angle was tough, but Archie will take it away happily. Rise looking for the extension. No connection on the 1-2 give and go. Jorius at midfield. Found no touch. Archie misses. Rise there yet again. Monkey Moon bumps him off the play. Kick back out and hit. Rise can't find the connection. 8 seconds to go. You need something if you're Oxygen. It's close, way over, but Extra pops it high. Jorius now on the back wing. Plays it to the corner. It's centered out. Looking for the connection. Denied. Archie at midfield has to keep it alive. And with nothing in the tank,
that's
just
gotta be it, right?
anything. Archie is still up. It's still up for Oxygen. Monkey Moon punishes 4-2. This one is done.
still up for Oxygen, but it means there's even more opportunities for BDS to put a final one in, increase the lead by 2 goals, and send us into game number 3 with a potential sweep from the former world champions. And that was a close one. I think Oxygen started to find their footing with that 50-50 win from the corner out of Archie, where it actually ended up going into the net. Bit of some luck on their own side, but better 50-50s overall.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, that's just not enough against BDS. I'll say it again. The awareness. They know how to read these plays. They know where the 50-50s are going. Oxygen started to get a little bit of that. They were trying to find some of these missing pieces of the puzzle, but at the end of the day, it was too late, Lee.
Yep. We sometimes put doubt where it shouldn't happen. We doubted BDS would deliver here, and they're world champs.
I feel responsible. I feel responsible for this.
They were so consistent in the last few years. And
Leaf, the scary thing is, like, it doesn't matter if BDS has no boost, if they're out of position, if they're struggling to get back together. It always feels like the fundamentals of this team kick in, especially in clutch time when they have a 1-goal lead, they're trying to maintain something. It's hard to break this team down. It's hard to break this team down to their rudimentary parts and get them uncomfortable. It just doesn't happen often.
Well, across the board, we do have 2 teams finished right now. That's G1 getting a 3-0 sweep over Williams Resolve, and we have Team Vitality getting a 3-0 sweep against SA, and all of our other matches are still going on right now. Vertigo is against the match point. Quadrant is up 2-1 in that match. We actually have K-Corp Sonics playing right now. K-Corp was at match point, but Sonics actually won once. So it's now 2-1, and they're winning this 4th game. So they might be going to a game 5 against K-Corp.
And that is why we actually ended up talking about Sonics, and we're putting some respect on their name, but we're going to, it's always going to be a late start if you can't get that first one under control, but that doesn't mean the second follow-up series could go your way. Just got to make sure you maintain that mentality. But we're going to go ahead and get back into this one. Oxygen up against BDS, who have been on a tear. BDS, it's hard to stop these guys, and I think Oxygen, they're so offensively minded. Once they pass that midfield line space, man, they're under control, they're organized, they're spaced out, but before it, whenever they're stuck on defense, it's not the same story.
Sure, I mean, it very much could be a result of the offense leads the defense, and that's how this team operates. But for BDS, they have everything controlled. There's a reason they're world champions. There's a reason we very much expected, and rightfully so, that this squad stuck together going into the season, and they're trying to repeat, and they look primed to do it if they continue to play like this for the rest of the year. But so far, we are waiting for that Oxygen offense to show its overwhelming force. We know Rise is one of the most clutch players in the league. We know how good Jorius is on the wing here, and that's going to be an overextension for BDS that punishes them as Jorius was ready for the touch.
Yep, and we finally do get a good start for Oxygen with Rise, a quick 1-2 pass down to Jorius. Maybe this is that transitional gameplay that they needed to approach BDS with initially, and that's going to be quick passes, not trying to dribble into the other half and maintain possession for as long as you can, but instead put a quick, fiery shot on net, and you might catch BDS overextending.
Small floater from Seiko. I like the call. Hits it with the side of his car, but again, possession here for Oxygen. Extra should have no problem handling this, and he won't. Lot in the tank. Seiko off spawn. Rise. Flipping it high. Allows Monkey Moon to get the call. Archie running point. Just dishes it back out. Jorius now has a chance off the backboard and leaves it to Monkey Moon. No one else to follow up. I like the call from Oxygen. Don't get too over-aggressive. Still try to play through these possessions.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely know that all 3 players on Oxygen, if they extend forward, can make something out of nothing, but against a team like BDS, if you're not clinical with those shots and converting on every single chance you get, you are going to get punished. Monkey Moon Extra both jumping up for that ball, but Monkey Moon called off, and he's back in position to deny Rise in the corner. Should be an easy transition for him, and it looks like this is the first time BDS are going to really have to go back to the drawing board and try and approach Oxygen differently, because this is a new squad.
These are the 50s you're going to have to take if you're Oxygen, especially when the possession is back to BDS through the corner on the opening sidewall as they get back to midfield. These are the possessions you're going to have to take as Rise just puts a dangerous shot towards the net. It was a beautiful look, just couldn't convert. The pre-flip there, plays it towards the side. A misflip doesn't matter. Archie keeping it alive. Here he comes, right off the back wall, taking away Extra, denying it quickly. BDS not going to give him anything for free.
Monkey Moon, this could be something special, but doesn't have the boost to keep going for it. And now he's looking for a better 50-50 in the midfield. Archie, I like the transition game. It seems like Oxygen, whenever they're approaching the midfield, if they're getting a 50-50, a touch on the ball, it's always going to be towards a teammate that's still centered downfield. And we weren't seeing that in the first 2 games. So the connections are more established here for Oxygen. able to find each other and really thread the needle to at least get some better opportunities on the net of BDS.
And the patience is here for Oxygen defensively, playing it off the backboard close to the chest. But now the conversation swings to BDS's favor. How do they start to break down this Oxygen defense that's been pretty tall the majority of this game? Still a 1-0 lead for the boys in green. Ooh. And BDS will try to flip that out towards the front of the box as Jorius try to keep things going. Seiko now on his own, so off the ceiling.
Wow.
Round one, can try to pinch it down, does so. Extra couldn't find the pinch. No center here. Oxygen will escape for the moment.
Seiko eager to get that flip and over a defender, but he couldn't get the follow-up off the backboard. Nonetheless, we are going to see more pressure out of BDS. That's immediately denied as soon as I talk about it, because you've got Rise coming down the other side. The control, the first touch, it's all there for this player.
He had 4 shots before this.
Woo!
One had to land finally. 20% from the field, but connects, puts it through. 2-0 lead. We got ourselves a series. It's 1:23 to play, 2-0.
That's just too much. That's ridiculous. You get a flip reset catch on the ball to then get the air dribble carried. I mean, he was able to get that follow-up simply because he had the extra flip. And those are the mechanics that you expect. Those are the mechanics that Oxygen needed and wanted when they picked up Rise, and that's what they're getting.
Jorius is going to be dangerous. The musty. Oh my! Jorius from the sidewall. Are you kidding? It's 3-0.
Hello, Jorius. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for hitting us with the musty, and thank you for hitting us with the double tap. This is just too much mechanics all in one play, back to back off of Rise's flip reset. We are getting spoiled in game number 3.
Gotta get a pulse check on Hootie Hoo and Karma. Go check him out on the Oxygen stream, but stay here as things continue on. Under 60 to play. BDS finally find their first real disadvantage in this series. The defense hasn't been there, and they've had no offense to show for it. That's why you currently see a 0 in the stat column as Monkey Moon would try to get it around, but Rise punishing through the corner. These two teams, I should say players, have seen each other time and time again. But Seiko going to open things up, misses the reset. Archie playing it low to the ground. Here comes Jorius for the call, and Rise meeting it in the air. The team pinch would have been sensational, but it just won't connect. 35 to go. It looks like Oxygen have everything they need to get this series 2-1.
Everything they need. It started out with a lot of different passing plays in the midfield, which I think built a lot of their confidence moving forward. And then now it's swapped up to solo plays out of Jorius and Rise. And Monkey Moon is far too ahead, doesn't have any boost. If he had even one pad, I'm sure he could have gotten a touch on this ball. But simply put, this man out of boost, out of time, and with 16 on the clock, you're going to have to look to the next game.
You're seeing Oxygen more and more just throw shots at the net from behind midfield, pulling BDS from those counterattacks and forcing them to make those saves in transition. It's a big change that happened between game 1 and 2. Finally, it's working out in game 3.
Here we go. There's space,
no matter what happens here,
all
you
right.
get one for the road. It's a positive result for BDS, but you got to tip your cap to Oxygen how they've responded in the series.
Do you believe, Spaceman?
Of course I believe.
Do you believe in the craziness? I don't know. I don't know if I believe. I'm not going to lie. I was hyping it up, but like 12 seconds left. We saw that unbelievable flick double tap from Jorius. Rise, the flip reset. This has got to be a perfect kickoff for BDS. Monkey Moon was looking for a demo. This is possession for Oxygen. Yep, it is over. We're going to look at the next game and maybe even a goal to go for Oxygen. 5-1.
This is the Oxygen we were waiting to see. And this is the matchup between BDS we wanted as well. We wanted it to be close down to the wire, and it certainly was. Seemed the offense a little bit more flourishing as Rise and Jorius had a field day on the side. Wall more comfortable in midfield, took their possessions and took them willingly. 5-1 might be the final score, but regardless, it's an Oxygen win. 2-1 leading the series for BDS, still on match point, but Oxygen finally have something to show for it.
And they were truly starting to spread the field more, Space Station, as this game was getting more and more intense. They started to, okay, maybe we need to push more into these corners, take some boosts, and not be so bunched up on defense. The transitions, very, very flawless for Oxygen Esports. It's setting up more solo plays. We got Jorius starting to come alive here with a hat trick. Rise, 2 goals to his name. And of course, Archie, well, he didn't get a goal, 2 assists, and plenty of work behind the scenes to get this dub.
Leaf, looking at how this entire game played out, right? We were waiting for the Rise and Jorius duo to eventually hit its peak. It felt like they felt more comfortable in this one. The BDS didn't look bad at it by any stretch. It just seemed that the overwhelming pressure of Oxygen's offense that we expected finally showed up, and they find themselves a dominant win.
I mean, I think this is gonna happen when you switch a roster like that up for Oxygen. You're gonna need a little time to get into it, and especially you're gonna need that time to get tested against some of the best teams. You go into these matchups not knowing what BDS has worked on besides your scrims. You know, you're gonna have to test that, get adjusted to it, and find your way. So hopefully we see Oxygen keep this matchup close here. But I do want to let you know a couple more teams finishing. Vertigo were not able to get the win. It was 3-1 for Quadrant in that matchup, but still, hey, taking a dub off that, not too bad. And German Amigos having a great day right now too. They start their day 3-1 against BDS, and now they're 3-1 against Guild Esports. They took that dub, so they're looking good in their group. In Group D, one of the hardest groups. In German Amigos again, looking pretty tough.
That's a good sentence that we should put on a t-shirt for how this season should play out. It's going to be pretty tough for every
it'll be tough. Indeed.
Yeah. Ooh, by the way, one more thing.
Okay, I'm ready.
Solary is currently on a reverse sweep against Moist.
Oh, man.
They're in game 5, and Solary's up 2-1.
Everybody wants a reverse sweep today.
Looks like everybody's getting tested. Everybody wants a reverse sweep. Oxygen, they want to be the first to get that reverse sweep, and this might be the start of it. Step 1 is going to be with Rise getting the first goal, and step 2 is just maintaining this possession.
That's the best way to start if you're Oxygen. BDS, it doesn't matter how much time's on the clock, they will find a way to score. Doesn't matter what you give them, they'll take a mile, but so far, Oxygen continuing the success they had in Game 3 over the Coliseum. Only one away from a Champions Field matchup, but still a 2-1 series lead here for BDS. If you're just joining us, welcome in to the second series here on the day of the mainstream. If you want to check out all of these different action, all the different teams currently playing, head on over to Liquipedia to find the matches happening. We'll keep you updated with scores, but you can also find those team streams to give them some love as well. It has been a bloodbath. We've said it before, we'll say it again, between BDS and Oxygen. We're getting the very best so far to start the winter split. BDS looking great, Oxygen looking good as they try to make this reverse sweep happen.
Yeah, and this is the best moment to be tuning in, not just because we're seeing some flashy plays from Joreus, but because there's 3 setups now for a potential reverse sweep. And in this game, Rise started things out, but Joreus continues the momentum.
I mean, that's what Archie used to do way back in the heyday of Top Blokes, just getting those rebounds, setting up for his teammates. And that offensive third, Archie, is one of the best in the world. Doesn't get enough love for that specific correlation towards his gameplay, as Joreus off the opening kickoff made it dangerous for BDS. And there's a great demo to clear way and force BDS to have to think twice about their transition upfield, as Extra will do so. Still fighting for possession, buying time for his teammate to get off spawn. Monkey Moon clears it towards the sidewall.
I mean, look at the boost too. You see Rise flipping forward, taking the corner boost. He's also rotating back on top of the midfield boost. BDS, they're struggling. If you look at the top left corner, you can see the boost meters always going down, depleting as they're trying to move out and transition. Seiko could get a good shot on target. He does, as Monkey Moon bumped out Rise, which meant it was a free shot, but a better pre-jump save out of Oxygen.
Easy serve to the front of the net. Archie still fighting. 2 touches, 1 off the ceiling as well. Just being a nuisance in the front of the box for BDS to have to deal with consistently, that lone man. Forcing the different challenges, the awkward angles. Rise doing just that. Extra will clear it to Seiko. Popping it high. A chance for BDS to continue. Not really much here. Good defense from Oxygen.
Monkey Moon, almost got that read, looking for something off the backboard. And things have stabilized, but for Oxygen, the main takeaway now of the past 30 seconds is the fact that they have been organized on defense. This is not what I was seeing previously, and now they're getting demoed, but it doesn't matter because Rise, such good awareness to turn on that ball, continue chasing it, and get a better 50-50. That wasted so much time for his teammates to get back into the field and to respawn, in fact.
And once he realized that he couldn't get the touch, he stole the corner boost, so there was really no way for BDS to get out quickly with that ball on a counterattack. Just heads-up awareness all the way around. Rise doing his job on the left side of the field, stagnant as ever, but still finding progressions as they fight for possession now. There's been constant pressure from BDS here, even with really not much showing for it. Still have a chance to put one away. Seiko, the follow-up. That's such a dangerous look from BDS, but handled nicely. Oxygen to escape.
And this is where I start to build confidence just in my own prediction for Oxygen, because we know that what they're capable of on offense. We know that they can come out with these flashy plays, but that's not enough to take a win against BDS. You need to be able to withstand that BDS pressure where they're able to punish you and put in very, very tight angle shots. And they have been able to get in front of these opportunities to deny them to win 50-50s. And that right there, Spaceman, is what convinces me that we're going to go to Game 5.
This is a team, or I should say these two teams match up really well against each other. There are a lot of parallels between the strikers and the defensive plays that they have. And looking at kind of the IGLs across the board, of course, Extra being the front man there for BDS. I'd assume Archie likely the one filling in there, as Joreus and Rise are more than happy just to sit back and continue those freestyle mechanics we've seen time and time again. Seiko going to try to put something on the board for BDS, pulling off the backboard. Extra clears lane, and there's the comms we were looking for. Finally, an open net chance.
bullied off the backboard. And take a look at the setup. Seiko, he keeps it to himself, and that gives time for Extra to bump Joreus out the way. If Seiko takes an early shot, you can easily see a defender jump off the backboard, dodge the demo, and get in front of the ball. But because Seiko keeps it to himself, the defender has to wait, has to be patient, and as a result, will get bumped and pushed out the way. And that opens up one more opportunity, one goal away from tying things up for BDS.
Doesn't matter how much time is left, the threat is real. BDS,
Oh
Extra,
my.
great read,
What?
and gets it around again. 55 seconds, folks, it's a tie game.
We got to take a look here at what is going on with the defense. We've got two players jumping for the same ball, Archie and Joreus. And Joreus, it looked like he might have called Archie off, but then didn't even get a touch himself. And Archie, unfortunately, had already jumped, so he can't try and save face here and get a pre-jump save. All tied up. What has happened now? Oxygen falling apart.
I mean, look, BDS, we know about their fundamentals. We know how good
Maybe
they are.
another
How
one?
frequently
What?
they don't break down. Big defense there from Oxygen, but now the question becomes, what do you have in the tank, metaphorically, for Oxygen to get this one done? Because BDS will not falter on that line as Extra takes the possession. A lot in the tank. Around one, tries to get under the second, but Archie was parked, bust, front line, not allowing anything through. Consistent challenges, BDS trying to put this game away.
Oh no, but some more double commits on the side of Oxygen. We just saw two players in front of the net jump at the same ball. Seiko looking for a flip reset. Unable to capture it. Archie, big clear downfield, immediately interrupted by Extra. And look at this transition. We're right back down the other side of the field. Seiko, an opportunity, goes wide. Monkey Moon can't follow it up. There's 5 seconds remaining. And potentially we get overtime unless Archie keeps it up. He does, but it gets away from him. And yes, we do indeed get OT.
At the front of the left hood, it just careened into the ground. It happens sometimes, but Joreus off the kickoff. Hold on. That's on target, a little bit high. Monkey Moon plays it quickly. Seiko will find the connection on the pass. Archie cuts it down. And very early on, BDS are playing off those backboards and trying to find those long touches downfield. I don't blame them. Keep the defense spread thin. Oxygen looked good on the counterattack, but here comes Seiko trying to get it around both. It was a nice pass upfield.
Oh, what a
Quickly
win.
taken away. Archie, the foot race to the ball. Extra will find it. Can't find the dunk. Archie tried his best, but BDS are better.
Smart play from Extra to capture that ball and go in for a solid 50-50. He does get a bump on Joreus, but nobody is shadowing him to get the follow-up. Here comes the transition. Oxygen. We've seen them play so much defense in the past 2 minutes, especially heading into this OT. Maybe it's their chance to take a couple of stabs at the net of BDS, but BDS are very strong in this midfield, and now with this clear, very strong to get a transition.
And you're going to keep Joreus up as well. If you're pulling two defenders towards the back wall, it's going to be hard to find the transition at midfield. Joreus catches the extension, finds the rebound, parks it, pulls it, and finishes it.
He completely put his car in park, caught the ball. That ball barely even bounced off of his car, able to get under Seiko, who thought he was going to go high. I mean, typically, you see Oxygen, you assume they're going into the airspace, man. That's just an instinct for all three of these mechanical beasts. But Joreus, he does the exact opposite, keeps it grounded, goes for a 50-50, which he ends up winning without a doubt, and then can get a nice flick into the back of the net. We go into Game 5, reverse sweep now, potentially for Oxygen.
I mean, you're looking at, 13 shots to around 7, so BDS had the advantage there, but it was the spacing for Oxygen in this one, and Joreus with a perfect play off the wing.
And look at it.
Be a threat no matter what happens.
That's crazy. That should have been a 50-50 lead, but Seiko was just flying high.
It's just zooming. This speaking of reverse sweeps, we had a few, I think 4 on the line here. We did have one other one, 2 other ones complete. It was Team Liquid just completed their reverse sweep against Tundra. So Team Liquid trying to turn their day around. And then we also had Moist and Solary. Solary was on a reverse sweep against Moist, and they completed it, defeating Moist 3-2 in that series, going to Game 5. So now we have the last matchup in round 2. This matchup here, when this is done, we go to round 3, but we have to see if a reverse sweep happens. You guys think Oxygen does BDS fall apart?
The way that game ended, it was literally just like, okay, this is even more of a coin flip, because it started out, and I'm feeling confident, heading into that game we just casted. I was confident Oxygen were going to come back into it. They had the mechanics, they had everything. Then all of a sudden, their defense starts double committing. I don't believe in them, but then somehow they edge out the win and we're going into game 5. I don't know who to pick, Spaceman. You got to hold me, bro. I'm scared.
Listen, Leaf, to answer your question, I don't think it's BDS kind of faltering and falling apart. It's more just Oxygen showing up, what we expected this offense to be able to do, what the strikers are capable of, how that midfield pressure can be there for the likes of Rise, the likes of Joreus, and Archie, the unsung hero so far with these recoveries off the back wall has been absolutely crucial to the success of Oxygen, but BDS still have so much viable for them. One of the most fundamental teams you'll see across the board in any region in Rocket League. Turtle getting into this Champions Field matchup. It's a big matchup just for the sake of the bracket for sure, but just getting something positive on the board for both squads is certainly a takeaway you'd want for this Game 5 to go.
And there's a reason why this was a highlight match for so many people, not just because of the names, the reputation, but the mechanics, the skills that we would see on display whenever we got into this matchup, and has certainly matched our expectations. Game 5, reverse sweep opportunity for Oxygen, or an opportunity for BDS to remain dominant. They started out the first 2 games capitalizing, holding possession, winning 50-50s. I talked about it, better positioning and reading the game better, but things have stabilized and certainly neutralized for Oxygen as they've been able to get back into it off of those mechanics, and of course the unsung hero, like you said, Archie.
We start off on the long touches back into boom ball, but finally a little bit closer, as it seems both teams have been able to hold on to their possessions. Raz will do so. And Joreus with a lot, ready and waiting for the call. Once he moves up, that's when the offense begins here for Oxygen, but trying to fight for a spot. Monkey Moon in midfield was just enough, lucky, I should say, to get the ball away before Extra came in for the contest. Archie takes it right back, looking for the dunk, won't find it. Rise up to follow through and bumps Seiko off the play. There's boost here for BDS, but they don't have possession. Yet again, Oxygen just throwing the ball at the net.
And look how quick Archie was up to that 50-50. Seiko very panicked. This is all of BDS rushing to get the touches and almost with the follow-up, but Extra had that read, the pre-jump save. I think that shot was not the most accurate it could have been. There was so much more space to shoot at, but Extra, he had it read.
And BDS can't get out cleanly. They're not winning the 50s. They're getting bumped when they transition back up midfield. Extra, though, was thinking maybe about the fake, but no, it was going to be off the backboard anyway. He would have to go for a touch. Joreus will play it low to the dirt, back down to the ground. Then Seiko has to fall off through the net, getting physical. Here comes Extra, popping it high. Monkey Moon caught, but still escapes. Archie gonna play this one through the boost. He'll grab it, but still BDS applying the pressure and trying to find those infield cuts for a powerful shot.
Good positioning from Monkey Moon, but he didn't manage to find possession or even control the ball. He just had to smack it to the corner, and because of that, we've got more pressure out of Oxygen. Rise, good interruption in the midfield. Looking carried himself, a flip reset 50-50. It's back towards the midfield. Archie forced to hold it down. He does, and look at that 50-50 win. Oxygen have been honestly forcing this ball through the midfield of BDS.
Yeah, they're trying to play low on the pinch to get it just behind the last defender, and from there, if you overextend, you're probably lucky enough to find an opening goal. We've burned 3 minutes in this Game 5 on Champions Field, the first one of the day here on the mainstream, and so far, neither team has found success to put a point on the board, but that could change momentarily with about a minute 57 to go. Rise trying to cut through the lane, just not able to do so. Threads this one to the corner, but Archie will follow through, and Seiko avoids a bump, gets around one, the flip into no man's land, but it's still alive at neutral. Monkey Moon up for the touch, getting towards the sideball. Here comes Joreus. The 50 actually goes back to the own side of Rise's field, and Rise will play it off the backboard, so BDS will have to try again with numbers up.
I really like that patience from Rise. He could have challenged that ball early on against Extra, but decided to go towards the backboard, play the safe route. That was definitely the call off the ceiling. Here comes Joreus. He's going to put an early shot on. Seiko is going to try and control it, and that's a risky 50-50 in front of your net, but a much needed one because you don't want to give away possession immediately. Panicking in Game 5, while it seems to be impossible not to, that's the last thing you want to do is just give away possession even in front of your net.
And those low power shots are trying to get the defense to get a light touch on the ball, so you immediately come in for a follow-up and just punch it through. We've seen it a couple of times in this series, but again, a double commit on the line. BDS more than happy to throw numbers at the ball.
That's over the net.
Could be an opening goal. The pinch center back out. Seiko pops it high. Joreus playing it through the corner. No one else following up, and this should be a clear, and it will be. BDS finally escaped and can breathe for the moment, but Oxygen pressing yet again. Archie floating it in the front of the net. Offensive third there for Oxygen, but they just can't convert. BDS trying to get back out yet again.
That was scary moments for BDS. There was no midfield possession or pressure, and they just gave it away to Oxygen, who didn't make any opportunities out of it. But maybe they make one out of this transition. Joreus downfield. He's trying to snipe his own teammates on the other side. Monkey Moon up early. Quick little pass out to Seiko, who doesn't get a touch on the 50-50. And now there's a demo on the play, but Rise He missed it. That transition necessary for Oxygen, and now they're forced to deal with some possession from BDS.
Yeah, but Archie just missed the cut into the lane, and so if he clears that ball, it's breathing room here for Oxygen, but they struggled. BDS off the backboard, extra 3 touches, looking for the center. Here it comes, is it an own goal? Are you kidding? With 6 seconds to play? After all of that, it's a triple touch from extra, and it ends in an own goal.
What is going on? Off the ceiling, there's so much pressure. Monkey Moon, he's floating in. He certainly would have had that follow-up, and you have no choice for Oxygen but to jump up for the ball. Unfortunate circumstances, this is difficult. 5 seconds left, Spaceman. Chaos on the field. And this ball, if it hits the ground, BDS, they're going to take it and deny that reverse sweep.
I lied. It was not an own goal. It was a very clear goal, and it follows its way through. BDS take advantage of the pressure on the goal line, and wow, a 1-0 win in the waning seconds of this Game 5. A little bit shaky at the end for BDS, but guess what? The fundamentals with a big question mark coming in, they're the same ones we leave with. It consistently was BDS's turn to score, and Oxygen threw everything they had and the kitchen sink, but they just couldn't find the opening turtle. That is about as close as a series as you could get.
I want to see it again. I wasn't on the proper perspective. I was not on Rise's perspective whenever he missed that transition.